Welcome to our visioning session. This is based on a technique I learned from Jesse Elder, so respect to him and the tools he's bringing through, and also a little bit of other theory that I've picked up around the place through different courses and books and things. Essentially, the process is a 4-part visioning sequence. In essence, we are cultivating a future reality by feeling it. So the 4 parts go, number 1, presence. So I'll walk you through this in time and allow the allocated 5 minutes between each with a gong between sessions so you know when to change over. But I'll explain them all now so you know what's ahead of us. The first is just lying still. So find a place where you can be at ease and resist any temptation to move or adjust or scratch. And it's simply allowing ourselves to be present, breathe, have a clear mind. And we're going to do that for 5 minutes. The second stage is active appreciation. So similar to gratitude, Jesse Elder doesn't like to use that word because it makes him feel or ingratiated to receive rather than sort of we have a right to have abundance. So he calls it active appreciation. And in the second phase, it's still lying in the same position, but returning our minds to moments in the past that we appreciate, where we had abundance, when we were in a state of flow, any of these beautiful things, and really feeling, the emphasis being on feeling the moment when we were in a state of wonder, in a state of power even, whatever those states we're going to cultivate for our future. So feeling them in the body. And keep returning to that over and over and over, or persist as long as you can on any one given appreciation until the gong sounds for the third stage. The third stage is pre-paving. So this is actually applying the same technique as active appreciation did to the past, but applying it to the future. So it's envisaging in detail your future reality that you're calling in. It's feeling that future reality. What's it like to stand in your shoes a year from now, 2 years from now, whenever it is that you want to conjure the future reality. And another aspect to this he calls time piercing. So the theory behind it being that there is no time. It's just all now, concurrently running and along different timelines. And so his proposition is that rather than making something up in the future, you can actually time pierce or like overlay or bend time. So you're actually coming into the body or coming into at least the sensation and presence of an alternate self that is in a future part of your timeline. And you're just feeling into and gaining the visceral, like the organic, the sensory knowing that that version of yourself has. So in feeling and experiencing that future, you therefore have an inkling of like how you got there, how people treat you, how you treat others, what your daily practice is, what environment you're in, the path you've walked. And so it's having a beautiful download of that future self, or that self that is now, but on a different now, which is on a future point of the timeline, if that makes sense. And then finally, moving on to the 4th stage, it's, what is it? It's allowing and receiving. So it's similar to the first stage, but in this one, we're simply allowing a download or allowing higher self or allowing all the stuff we've stirred up from an active appreciation, being in a state of magnetism to good high vibe things, and also casting our vision forward into the future reality where we intend to arrive. It's allowing now that intuition or that knowing or that God perception to hand us or to reveal to self the best next step forward. So it's allowing ourselves to take some effective action toward that intended state. One other piece of information which I garnered from another course was the idea of the subconscious, however you like to conceive of that, operating on a more somatic level, so a more body cellular kind of level. And it not necessarily differentiating between felt experience / imagined experience and actual experience. So the part of this that I feel weaves into Jesse Elder's process is that we are programming, if you like, or creating a subconscious reality. We are allowing ourselves to feel this future reality. And then when our subconscious notices that our present day reality doesn't match, it's almost like it wants to get away the dissonance, or wants to harmonize, so it'll help draw us forward, of course along with our own intention and real world action. It'll help draw us forward so that that subconscious reality meets the conscious reality. So the subconscious feeling that we've visioned starts to actually come about in the real world. And apparently that is one of the aspects of the subconscious, is that if we're programming it negatively, so if we're worrying about things, if we're fearing things, it's going to notice that those things aren't actually happening, and it can manifest those in our life. So we're just using this for a positive tilt. So those are the 4 stages. It's presence, active appreciation, pre-paving, and allowing and receiving. And I'm going to gong in between each one, so you can just leave this video playing. Arrive at a space where you feel you can be present. You can be sitting up, even standing up, but Jesse Elder recommends lying down. That's how he does it. And then there'll be a gong, and I'll briefly mention what each of the phases are that you're about to enter. Happy visioning your future reality. that brings the present to a close. And now you're going to enter 5 minutes of active appreciation. So really bring in the feeling and the sensations of a past moment when you were in flow, when you were honoring your true self, acting in integrity, feeling empowered and playful, and in an embodiment you'd be happy to take forward. Nice, excellent. That was the completion of active appreciation. Now we're going to shift that forward along our timeline to pre-paving. So casting your mind and body forward into a moment in the future, seeing it, hearing it, and most importantly, feeling it in detail, and allowing any of that knowing of a future self to absorb into you now. And just hold that vision of your future for the next 5 minutes. Awesome, exciting. So that completes the pre-paving. Hopefully you saw one or many futures. And now we're going to just allow and receive. So coming back into a state of openness and presence, and perhaps prefacing it with a question. Who do I have to be? Or what is my best next step? Or how can this come to be? Or who should I align with? Any of these kind of questions to open up to God self, higher self, your own knowing. And then just allow and receive, being present for the next 5 minutes. complete. I hope that was insightful. I hope that was enjoyable as well, just feeling into your future that you intend to manifest. And please go and write down any notes, any visions or any advice you'd like to give yourself after that session. And take any action you can today, if not immediately. And that way we can actually start to honor and bring closer together our vision with our actual manifest reality. The idea of creating our own future can be this amazing, far-off kind of concept. But of course, it can take really simple baby steps, just a phone call to someone, or rearranging something in our immediate environment, cleaning that thing we've been avoiding, or even just having a conversation with someone to release any attention we have stuck on relationships or aggressive things or problems we have, so that we can more fully put our focus on the reality we want to create from this moment forward. Huge love. Thanks for playing.